Good morning, everyone. It's Miss Landis here, and today we are finishing up 10-2, multiply a fraction by a whole number using models. This is part 3, which is the homework and practice page. So before you complete the homework and practice page, you should choose one warm-up problem to complete. And then you should try these problems independently before you watch this video. I'll be going over the answers for 1 through 10, the evens only, and then 14 and 15 on the homework and practice page, which is 553 to 554. So since I'm going over the answers, I recommend that you try these problems yourself first independently before watching this video. So I circled the evens first between 1 to 10, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 10 on the back. And then we have 14 and 15 to complete as well. All right, so in my other video, the one thing that I kept repeating to help you solve some of these is we are multiplying fractions by whole numbers. So when you see the picture or the story, look for the fraction and how many times it's repeated. So in number 2, the fraction is 3/4, and we see it repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So our whole number is 5 times the fraction 3/4 equals whole number times the numerator. So 5 times 3 is 15 over our denominator of 4. And I think I have enough room here to break up that fraction because our numerator is greater than our denominator, so we need to make it a mixed number. So let me see how many wholes I can make. Now I know that I have to stop here because 4 plus 4 is 8, plus another 4 is 12. And if I added 4 one more time, I would get 16, and that's more than 15. So what is left over is 3/4. And our answer is 1, 2, 3, and 3/4. So 5 times 3/4 would be 15/4, which equals 3 3/4. All right, for number 4, look for the fraction and how many times it's repeated. Because it's repeated addition, we're adding the same thing over and over again. So we have the same equal group a certain amount of times. So the 4/12, I see that 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20 over 12. Since our denominator is at 12, we would need 12/12 to make a whole, which I can have 12/12 inside of 20/12. But another 12/12 would be more than 20. What I have left over, I can count up from 12 to 20, and I'll get 8. I can make one whole, so that equals 1 8/12. And just since I'm circling my answers, I'm going to cross these off. I used those to make a whole, just so I don't confuse myself. Okay, number 6, calculate the distance Benjamin rides his scooter if he rides 3/5 mile each day for 10 days. So since he's doing the same amount of, or he's riding the same amount of distance, 3/5 mile, for 10 days, that would show us equal groups. So we have our fraction 3/5 times our whole number of 10. 10 times 3/5 equals 10 times 3 is 30. And I think I'll need more space for this one, so I can use my whiteboard, or you can use scrap paper. So I'm taking the 35ths and I'm making it a mixed number. So we have 30 over 5 equals 5/5 plus 5/5. 5 plus 5 is 10. I can still count on. Another 5 would give me 15, plus another 5/5 would give me 5, 10, 15, 20, so I can still keep adding. Plus another 5/5 would give me 25, plus another 5/5 would give me 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The whole number of 6. So instead of a mixed number, we have a whole number. And that's because 5 times 6 gives you 30. So you can look at the relationship between the numerator and the denominator to help you figure out if it's going to be a whole number. If this numerator can be divided by the denominator, then you can make a whole number. And you'll start to realize that as you practice more of these and as we get into 10-3 tomorrow. So 6 miles is our answer. Number 8, calculate the distance Kinsey jogs if she jogs 7/8 mile each day for 9 days. So she's jogging the same amount for 9 days. So our whole number times our fraction. 9 times 8 is 63. 8s. We have to break that apart into a mixed number. So I'm going to show you a different strategy this time, because since our numerator is so large, 63 over 8, do you really want to keep writing 8/8 plus 8/8 plus 8/8 plus 8/8 plus 8/8 to get to 63? There's a slightly easier way if we use skip counting. So let's use skip counting by our denominator of 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16. And think of your 8's facts. I know the third number in the sequence is going to be 32 because 8 times 4 is 32. Add another 8 to give me 40. Still not very close to 63. We're going to have to keep adding a few more. 40 plus 8 is 48. 48 plus 8 is 56. 56 plus 8 is 64. And that's more than 63, so we can stop. So use your skip counting to see. It's kind of like when we're dividing. If we were dividing 63 by 8, we are used to seeing that, right? And we skip count by our divisor to see how close we can get to our dividend. So we're doing the same kind of thing. So if we look at our 8 skip counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be our whole number. And then I would count up from 56 to 63 to see how much I would have left to put on top of my denominator. So 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So if I counted up to 63, I would have 7. So our answer is 7 7/8 miles. All right, now let's turn to the back for number 10. Audrey uses 5/8 cup of fruit in each smoothie she makes. She makes 6 smoothies to share with her friends. How many cups of fruit does Audrey have? So our whole number is 6 because she's making 6 smoothies, and each smoothie has 5/8 cup of fruit. So 6 times 5/8, 6 times 5 is 30, over our denominator of 8. And I wish that I didn't erase my skip counting by 8s because we're going to have to do it all over again for 38. So 38, you can do it this way. I mean, it's one strategy, but there are other strategies out there that I'm trying to show you as well. So I'll show you both. We could break it up into the amount of wholes that we can make. 8/8. 8 plus 8 is 16, so I can make another 8/8. 16 plus 8 is 24, so I can have another 8/8. But 24 plus 8 is 32, and that is over 30, so if I count it up, I would have 6/8. I'm just going to squeeze that in here. I would have 6/8 left over because 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 6 is 30. But if I use my 8 skip counting, you'll see that it's the same thing that we're doing here. So I stopped at 32 because it's more than 30. Here our answer would be 1, 2, 3, and 6/8. With our skip counting, the closest I can get to 30 is 1, 2, 3. If I count up from 24 to 30, I'm going to have 6/8 left over. So same answer, just a different strategy. So that would be 3 and 6/8 cup of fruit, or cups of fruit. All right, moving down here to number 14. Select all the expressions that represent the following story. Ronald rode the roller coaster 3 times. The roller coaster track is 1/4 mile in length. Use drawings or number lines as needed. Look for the whole number or the amount of times that we're repeating something. So 3 times 1/4. 3 times 1 is 3 over our denominator of 4. And we do not have to change that fraction because the numerator is less than the denominator. So I solved it first, and now I'm going to look for the answers. So here's my equation, 3 times 1/4. And here's my answer down here. Remember to also look for the repeated addition. How many times did we multiply 1/4? We multiplied it 3 times. That's the same thing as adding it 3 times. On to number 15. Select all the expressions that represent the following story. Kurt swam across the lake and back. The lake is 4/8 mile across. Use drawings or number lines as needed. So in this word problem, I don't see a whole number. So I'm going to have to go back and reread that because I see the fraction. The lake is 4/8 mile across. But how many times did Kurt swim across the lake? Kurt swam across the lake and back. So across the lake is once, back is one more time. So that's 2 times that he swam across the lake. Two times 4 is 8 over our denominator of 8. And I know that 8/8 is equal to 1. So look for your equation. 2 times 4/8 is here. Do we see our answer? 8/8 or 1. I don't see the answer, but I see the repeated addition. Also, you should be looking for other ways to represent your answer or other equations that are going to give you the answer. So here we have 4 times 2/8. 4 times 2 is 8, and that's going to give me 8/8. However, this expression doesn't represent the story. Kurt swam across the lake and back. So 2 times he swam across the lake, which is 4/8 miles. Even though this gives us the answer, it says select all the expressions that represent the following story. In my opinion, this expression doesn't represent the story. 8 times 4/8, he did not swim across the lake 8 times. And 2 plus 4/8, we are multiplying because he swam that 4/8 2 times. So these are our answers. And that concludes the topic 10, lesson 2 work. So I would say before you move on to topic 10, lesson 3 tomorrow, make sure you have all of the work from topic 10, lesson 2 completed before you move on. And we'll see you guys in our next video. Have an awesome day and stay safe.